sparkly shirt. This is a very last minute video. Yeah, there's another video where I'm reading this book. I want to talk about Daisy Jones and the Six by Taylor Jenkins Reid. Daisy Jones and the Six. I read the book in 1.5 days. Immediately after, I heard the album Aurora, and immediately after that I watched Daisy Jones and the Six in Prime Video. I'm absolutely, inevitably in love with this book. I had read Taylor Jenkins Reid before. I read The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, and it's one of my all-time favorite reads. And honestly, I don't know why, but there was something that was like keeping me away from reading Daisy Jones and the Six. But you know, with the series coming out, I wanted to read it. I bought it like a few weeks ago, and I was really excited about reading it. And I read it. I read it for sure. And it was such an amazing read. First of all, the format. How the book was written was so unique. I've never read a book like an interview before. I don't know if it has been done before, but I had never read anything like it, and I loved it for it. At first I was a little bit like, I was questioning, you know. I was like, will this really work? Like, I don't know how this is gonna work. But as I kept reading, I just couldn't stop, and I just loved it so much. I loved seeing everyone's perspective, because technically we saw everyone's perspective. I loved everything. I loved how it was written. I loved how we saw some of Daisy's, but I loved how we saw some of Daisy's lovers, how we saw Camilla's perspective and the ending. Like, I didn't think that it was Julia, the one that was doing the interview, you know? And when it happened, well. And I remember this very specific moment where Daisy Jones and Billy Dunn, they realized that it's not gonna happen for them, or at least Billy tells her that it's not gonna happen for them. I don't remember specifically. It was where Daisy was talking about how it was so hard to be by his side by the end of the book. And I loved the note that Camila left, and something that I made this book stand out for me was the fact that Camilla's character suffered from lupus. That really hit very close to home. I had never read a book with any character that had lupus, and when I read that Camila had passed away because of lupus, I liked Camila as a character. I really did. She wasn't my favorite, but my mom has lupus, and she's been fighting it like hell for the past 10 years. So it really broke my heart. And first of all, when they said she had lupus, I was like, oh my god, this is some representation, and I love it. And then when they said she died, I was heartbroken. The note that Camila left, I loved it. I didn't expect the ending for this book. I really didn't. I thought it was gonna go a completely different way, but the way it went, it worked so well. And now the series. I think it was perfectly cast. I love me some Sam Claflin. I love him. I honestly think it was one of the best adaptations I have seen so far. It had some differences, you know. We didn't get to meet Pete, which he's like a crucial character, but he's part of the Six, you know. Like, there's a reason why they're called the Six, because they weren't only 5. There were 6 with Pete. And also the fact that they didn't include Chuck's death and it made it seem like Chuck went to dental school. I think that was, I would have liked Chuck's death, but they made it work by bringing Chuck back, like when they did the reunion on Billy and Graham's mom house, and he was like, oh yeah, like financial like stability and stuff. Like, no honey, stop it. One of the things that I was not expecting was the fact that they kept Teddy alive. I thought they were gonna kill him, you know, because he dies in the book. He dies, and I thought he was gonna die when he had the heart attack, but he didn't. And I mean, they made it work, you know, they worked around it. I would have liked to see their reactions to Daddy's death, not in their interview itself, but the memories. But it's whatever, you know. And I would have liked them to like speak more onto Camilla's illness, because they just say she was sick, you know. And I would have liked for them to say that she was sick with lupus. Like, they didn't have to go into detail, they didn't have to like say, oh, lupus is this and that, but I would have liked that kind of representation in a series so big as this one. I mean, the representation was already in the book, and I don't know why they didn't put it in the series. It's kind of implied that she had some type of cancer, just because she had a wig on, and you know, like, people for movies and series, they relate wigs to sicknesses such as cancer or sicknesses that require chemotherapy. Which lupus, I know lupus was, for some cases, my mom had to go through chemotherapy for her lupus, but it's not really said that she has lupus, and I would have liked to hear it, you know, just for the representation. But overall, I love the series. I can't tell you that it's gonna be one of those series that I'll rewatch, because I feel complete, you know, like I don't feel the need to go back and rewatch it, you know. I feel like one time was good. It doesn't mean that it's a bad series. It's a really good series. I really loved it, but one time is good. Then the album, I've been listening to it non-stop over and over and over and over and over again, and I can't stop listening to it. It's so good. Oh my god. Oh, Regret Me. Oh my god. Oh, it's so good. And the book, I'm definitely gonna reread this book. It's definitely a 5 stars for me. It's one of my all-time favorite books now, and now I have 2 Taylor Jenkins Reid books on my all-time favorites, and just wow. Read it on the Kindle, on my iPad, on the Kindle app, and I bought a physical copy just because I want to reread it again. I reread it again, and I want to tab it, and I want to annotate in it. It just I'm sorry if this video is a little bit scattered. I really didn't organize anything for this video. It's my first time doing a video solely on a specific book. I just finished the series, literally. I just finished the series, and I just stood up, grabbed my camera, and turned it on, because I have had to do a video about this. I had to do a video about Daisy Jones, even if I'm not making any sense, even if I'm not making any sense at all. I have to do a video about this book because it was just amazing, and there was so many quotes. Oh my god. Page 302, knowing you did the right thing doesn't mean you're happy about it. It's an album about needing someone and having them love someone else. This book, I don't know, but it feels like it kind of saved me. It feels like I was meant to read this book. And I know that I'm not the only one that has read it. I'm not that special. But it just feels right. And I loved it so much. So yeah. Thank you for watching, you guys. I hope you have an amazing day, an incredible week, an amazing month, and an amazing year. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye.